So today we are discussing size of farm. We already know that farm is a piece of land on which crops and livestock are raised. It has specific boundaries and is held under single management. Right? It is held under single management. Now, with regard to size of the farm, uh, just want to say we are already used to this classification in India. That is, we have marginal farms, okay, which are less than 1 hectare in land size. We have small farms, okay, they measure 1 to 2 hectare. They have semi-medium farm, which measure 2 to 4 hectare. Then we have medium farms, which have 4 to 10 hectare. Okay, and of course, large is more than 10 hectare. So we are very used to this classification. And this is how we categorize farm as marginal farms, small farms, semi-medium, medium, and large farms. Right? So usually the people talk about small and large farms. So they club, you know, these and these. Okay. So in different studies conducted at different parts of the world and different parts of the India, you will find different classification. People are deciding small versus large categorization as per their wishes. So in JNKV, if you see the studies we have done, so they say up to uh, 2 hectares of land, they are small. Okay. Some studies say 2 to 4 is medium and above 4 are large. But government of India sticks to this classification. Let any study stick to any other classification. So this classification too is arbitrary. Because finding a farm which is greater than 4 hectare in any village of India is very difficult. Very difficult now.
हेलो।
Pardon?
सर वीडियो ब्लर आ रहा है। अभी अब क्लियर है।
Let me join from my own mobile. नहीं वो blurred
नाउ
नहीं
इट्स
है
क्लियर।
उनके एंड पे blurred है. Let me join from my own
सर
mobile.
अभी अभी क्लियर है सर।
नाउ इट्स क्लियर।
No, I will join from my own mobile.
बीच में आ जाते हैं तो वो फोकस लूज कर देता है।
Hmm?
आप बीच में लिखने लगते हैं फिर आप साइड होते तो
No,
फोकस लूज कर
it's
देता है।
not that issue. I will join from my own mobile because yesterday I did it. I'm removing this mobile and joining from my own mobile. So क्या किया? What happened?
कैमरा मूव कर दो, फ्रंट कैमरा ऑन दो।
I hope it's visible now, students. Hello?
यस सर इट इज।
Hello, hello,
It's
no
visible, sir.
response. Hello, it's visible. Leave it.
Yes, it is, sir. It is visible.
Is
Am I
visible, yeah.
audible?
Yes, sir.
Just a minute, just a minute. Gerald, am I audible now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please proceed.
Okay. So far we know this classification. Now, without going into further details, because this course we learn about different types of forms and systems of farming also. So now we must understand the pros and cons of having small and large farms, right? We must understand what small farms can offer, what large farms can offer, right? So small farms, uh, they offer first thing is when prices are low. When prices are low, losses that occur, which prices are low? The output price is low. So your output from wheat can be wheat grains, wheat straw. From maize, you can say maize grains. Maize, you can say cob, right? From cauliflower, you can say cauliflower head, right? So when prices are low, losses are expected to be low. And here, when prices are low, losses are high. Losses are high. Losses are high. Then these type of farms, they are very small. They are very small. Devote, they can devote personal attention. They can devote personal attention. They can devote personal attention, right?
So it is still unclear.
Can't devote personal attention, right? They can't devote personal attention, but but these type of forms, they are small forms, they must do all operations by themselves, right? So they are very small, even they can't hire some machinery which are needed for big farms or not suitable for small farms. So, but for all activities on the farm by themselves, right? Farmers are performing activities by themselves, and here, large farms, so they have very large amount of money. So, but they hire skilled people. They hire skilled people, okay, for different operations. Different operations which require specialization, skilled specialization. So they will have different person for marketing, they will have different person for agronomy, they will have different person to cater to the needs of livestock. So they will have different person who will be looking after the finance, cash flow, balance sheet, everything, right? So they can't do so. They don't have that much money. They don't have that much money, right? third point is these small farms does not enjoy economies. Economies in production, marketing of both input and output because you have come across a course of agriculture marketing, so you now understand marketing is not just input marketing, it's not just output, it's both. And finance, because why I am saying economics in finance because economics means lower cost or higher production. So when you go for production, higher production, economics means higher production. Marketing means you are able to buy inputs at low cost but able to sell output at high price. Finance means the rate of interest you can bargain with bank or offered to you is low. That is economics. Then labor use, right? So this is the disadvantage these small farms are having. But on the other hand, they enjoy economies in all areas of agriculture, all areas of agriculture, you can say. When you do agriculture, all areas of agriculture. So, what I mean here is they get higher production because their farm is large, they can efficiently utilize the resources, they can do better marketing, they can get credit at very low rate of interest. Labor, they can have permanent labor which are very devoted to their farms, right? So they can have even experts, uh, full salaried experts on their farm because they have large amount of money. Now, next point is these small farms they enjoy greater technical efficiency. But what does greater technical efficiency means? That with same amount of resources, they are able to get more output. They are able to get more output with same amount of resources. We'll learn more about it in next lectures. And these people who are having large farms, so they enjoy greater economic efficiency. Right? They enjoy greater economic efficiency. Enjoy greater economic efficiency. So economic efficiency you can understand it in BC ratio terms. If you spend 1 rupee as a cost, you get more benefits like 2 rupees, 3 rupees, okay, compared to small farm. Okay. Then these differences are not given as such in the book. I have made a list and trying to, tell you each difference one by one. So they have given it separately, all these differences. Then fifth one is uh, high overhead charges, or if you if you feel what is overhead charges, that means charges which you have to pay regardless of production. So, like if you have taken a loan from the bank, then you have to necessarily pay the uh, interest, whether your production is happening, not happening, but you have taken loan means you have to pay interest. So, high overhead charges, can't make full utilization of equipment and machinery. So they can't make full utilization. Why they can't make full utilization? Because their farm is so small. Even if they buy one tractor can plow at least 30-40 acres in a matter of 5-6 days. But their farm is only 2 hectares. So remaining time what tractor will do? So they can't make full utilization. So all equipments are built to provide at least 30-40 acres of service. But what is the idle time? Idle time of the equipment? They are no use. Then low overhead charges, better utilization of equipment and machines. So why better utilization? Because they may be having 8 hectares, 10 hectares of land, or even 50 hectares of land. So whatever machine is there, it's utilized to the full extent, and they can have more crops compared to small farms. So more crops means even diversified use in different enterprises. Next one, crop diversification is difficult. And monocropping is common. Monocropping is common. Monocropping is common, very common. Because in a small plot, how many things can you grow? Although there are evidence that in a small plot of land, people used to grow 8 crops in a season or year. Different types of crops at different durations, mixed cropping, intercropping, they used to do. But now it's not economically viable to do crop diversification on small plots. So here, crop diversification coupled with crop rotation is easy and easily practiced. Not just easy to do in theory, but easy to practice also, right? And economical. Economical. Then next is too small farms fails to provide fails to provide fails to provide full employment to family, right? Because this farm is too small. If a family of 14 is there, 14, 15 people is there, what could they do on such a small farm? So they can't provide employment to their own family members. So here no such issues. ऐसा कोई भी इशू यहाँ पे नहीं होता है. Instead, employment to large number of people outside family and clan. Clan यानी एक टाइप से you can say वंश. In Hindi you can say vansh for those people who are from not understanding word clan. Uh, then eighth one is too small forms are economically unviable and resort to distress sale. Right? Why do they resort to distress sale? Why the small farms resort to distress sale? Because they want money for their immediate use. Whenever crop is harvested, they want money. They are economically unviable. Unviable means they are not able to make profit on a continuous basis. Again, they want money. There are cash flow problems. As you have completed finance course, you understand what distress sale is. You understood marketing course. So now you understand that they are pressing the cash problems. Ask them to sell it at whatever low prices prevailing in the market. So distress sale is very common. Here they are economically viable. They are economically viable and does not resort to distress sale. See what happens when crop is harvested. When crop is harvested, very often farmers need cash to pay for their needs. They wait for 4 or 5 months that let the harvest come. We'll pay for all the things we have bought on the credit. So they, those people who know that their crop is harvested, they start pressing. Okay, pay me now. You bought it on the credit. You bought it on the credit. You didn't pay at that time. So now pay me. So what happens? Farmers come under pressure. They can't wait anymore. They have already waited for 4 5 months, and at whatever low prices prevail in the market, they sell it. Even they can't even recover their variable cost sometimes. Such a low prices prevail in the market, and they sell it. Whoever is ready to buy, and that is the distress sale. Right? Now, next problem is they have homogeneous land. Homogeneous land. Okay. Homogeneous means if it is black soil, it's really black throughout. Okay. Same quality of soil everywhere. Okay. So small plots of land, usually small farms, they have homogeneous land. Now, large farms have heterogeneous land, uh, very often scattered. Very often scattered. Very often scattered. So this what is problem? What is problem if it is not homogeneous? Problem is they have to plant different crops for this different heterogeneous plots, within the farm, and that planning takes a lot of time, and they often have to show different different varieties suited to these different plots. Suppose in a large farm of 50 hectares, a person is having black, red, and maybe some mixture of these two. Okay. Then what is the possibility that on a red soil or a sandy soil he may have to grow crops like radish, okay, groundnut, uh, but on a black cotton soil he has to grow chili, right? He has to sow different types of crops on different land. So planning problem is there. Then here adoption of technology. Technology means everything from machinery, varieties, different types of pesticide. Okay. So technology is low. So small farm farmers are often laggards. Laggards. Heard of this word? In extension, you must have seen a curve like this, okay? Adoption curve. So here are innovators, early adopters, late adopters, right? And at the last, laggards. Heard of this? Heard of this in extension? So small farmers are often laggards. So they are the last people, to adopt. So they are the laggards. So they lack in adoption of the technology. They lack in adoption of technology. But if you come to large farms, very large farms, so for them, adoption of technology is easy and fast. These farmers are often innovators, innovators and early adopters. So these farmers, large, very large farmers, they are innovators. Innovators means they readily adopt whatever this KVK's farm science centers they are telling. They readily adopt it, and maybe if they can't adopt it at the very beginning, they may be adopting when one or two farmers are early adopters too, right? Then 11 point is they are credit dependent farmers. These farms need credit every year, and that's why in India, Kisan Credit Card is running. Why every year you see a beeline in front of banks? Why there is a huge rush at the beginning of every sowing season? Because these farmers need credit, credit to buy agriculture inputs needed for sowing. Right? These are the people who are credit hungry. Credit hungry. They need it every year, and they use part of the credit for family also, because whatever returns are generated by these small farms, the small farms are not sufficient to run the family. So they are in terms of debt trap. Large farmers can too be in the debt trap. I don't deny. I don't deny. Very often small farmers are in the debt trap. You understand debt trap? This year they have taken 1 lakh rupees. Next year they can't repay 1 lakh rupee. So they will ask the bank to give 2 lakh rupees as loan. Out of that 2 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees is going for repayment of previous year 1 lakh rupees. So they are in terms of debt trap. So they are in terms of debt rate. So these farmers, these farms can fund, these farms can fund from their own resources, and very often, very often, very often, very often do not need credit. Very often do not need credit. That's the beauty of large farms. So they can manage on their own. They don't need to go to bank. They have 60, 70 hectares or acres of land, and that makes it very easy for them to take even credit from family, friends, because they are wealthy people. They can lend to their families, or they can borrow from their own families. Right? Next is low risk bearing ability. They have high risk bearing ability. I'm writing everything because it's not given in book as such, right? Very often you need this comparison to understand, you know, side by side. In book they have given separately advantages, disadvantages, then again advantages, disadvantages, and some things are not given truly. So these are the differences. If you have any doubt, you can ask questions. Somewhere you didn't understand, because I just need to tell few more things and then I will stop. So
Homogeneous land, so topography could be considered.
yes, we consider topography also. Usually small plots of land, they are flat, more or less flat. Even on the hill or hillocks, you can find same topography, same slope everywhere. But when you comes to large swath of land, then you find that it is scattered. Some are on the hills, some are on the plains. Even that makes a planning difficult. On hills, he can grow kodo, but he cannot grow cotton. On the plain, he can grow cotton or maybe paddy if it is low-lying area, but he can't grow kodo, right? He can grow, but he will not grow because kodo does not require that much flat land. And flat and low-lying lands are not suitable for kodo also. Kodo does not require waterlogging, but paddy requires. Now, there are some factors. There are some factors. There are
1% battery.
1%.
Battery.
Okay. Leave. I will just explain two, three things. Okay. Yeah. So, how do you measure size of the farm? One is in terms of acres. One is measurement. It's in terms of first is unit of land, like you measure it in hectares or acres, something like this. Second one is in terms of labor employed. How much labor employed? How much labor is employed? And how do you measure the labor? How do you measure the labor? It is in terms of man equivalent. Man equivalent. Then in terms of total capital employed. Total capital employed. Total capital employed means how many lakh rupees or million rupees you have invested in the business for machinery, farm building, irrigation channels, everything. And last is value of production. So each one of these has its own limitation in terms of measurement. What is limitation of value of production? Those who grow high value crops but their farm is of 0.5 hectare, high value crops, they will be considered equal to a farmer who is growing let's say low value crop but on a large farm, right? That's the problem. Total capital employed, if you do capital intensive farming, obviously total capital employed will go on. Okay, so these are the things. These are the things that we need to consider before wrapping up this session. Uh, just want to highlight. What else can be there. What else can be there? What factors can affect it? So population density. High population density means smaller farms. High population density, smaller farms. Then availability of funds. Availability of funds. So you have large deep pockets. So you have more funds, more liquidity, more funds, larger farm, suitable climate. Although book has given that suitable climate means larger farms, but I say when suitable climate is there. Uh, Usually people go for smaller farms because a lot of people come to do farming when suitable climate is there, and this reduces size of the farms. Managerial abilities, those who have good managerial abilities, they have bigger farms. Land ceiling, we'll come to this topic separately at the end of this course, why land ceiling happened in India. So this reduces the size of the farm. So ceiling means an upper limit has been placed how much you can own the land. And then irrigation. So more irrigation availability, bigger farms. It's there in your shared material. Then if you consider extensive or intensive farming, that also decides size of the farm. Extensive farming means larger farm. Intensive farming means smaller farms. If you have land saving technologies, what would happen? What would happen? Land saving technologies means smaller farms. Land augmenting technologies means bigger farms. And then if you have something like floriculture crops or vegetable crops, you need very small parcel of land. But if you want to grow wheat paddy, you need larger farms. Again, mango is the most extensive crop, right? And then you have law of inheritance. If your government allows to inherit a large amount of land, you can have large amount of land. And if number of people ready for inheritance in the next successive generation are more, you have smaller amount of land available for each farm.
Excuse me,
So
sir.
I'm wrapping up today's session. Yes, yes,
Sir, can you repeat the extensive
yes,
intensive
बताइए.
point?
Okay, so extensive cultivation. Let's say mango is an extensive cultivation. Coconut is an extensive cultivation because distance between each plant is 10 meter by 10 meter, right? So 10 meter by 10 meter means to plant just 100 trees, you need very large amount of land. So you need a bigger farm for mango, coconut, areca nut, plantation crops and orchards. So that is extensive cultivation. But again, within mango, we have Amrapali variety, which needs, high density planting to have a good performance. So that is intensive planting. So you reduce that 10 by 10 distance to how much? 2.5 by 2.5, right? So that is intensive cultivation. Even for papaya, guava, we have intensive cultivation compared with the other plantation crops. Uh, is extensive or intensive cultivation. Any further doubt? Gerald, Monica, Mega?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So what I taught today is what is farm, how many size of farms as per government of India, or in general what people study in terms of size of farms, difference between small and large farms. Then we considered factors affecting size of farm. Then we also considered various measures other than hectares of land. How do you measure size of farm? Their limitations. This is the wrap up for today's session. Tomorrow we'll again meet at 12:15. Uh, Thank you for joining today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.